I think the fee for trade the pool for the mini buying power is amazing. Like, how can I say no to that? So I was just like, okay, well, here, take my money. And then, yeah, here I am now. Hopefully I can get to a payout with you guys.
By looking at your chart and looking at the analysis and the trading, it looks great. So as long as you won't oversize and, crossing those boundaries, I don't see a reason why not to. Welcome everybody to another funded trader of Trade a Pool. Today, Terry is with me, another funded trader of Trade a Pool. How's it going, Terry?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Thanks. So you passed the evaluation, the mini buying power. For those of you not familiar with that, you basically trade on $20,000 of buying power, and you need to reach a certain goal without crossing the risk parameters. Terry did just that. How long it took you to pass it?
I did it on my second try.
Second try. Okay, nice. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about that before watching your dashboard. What's the difference between the first attempt to the second attempt?
Really, I think it was sizing. I think it was just still getting used to the platform and sizing. I was definitely oversizing a little bit on the first one. And a lot of the times I was getting wicked out with my strategy.
Okay.
And so I started, lowering a little bit my size, and then saw the profits roll in. It was kind of nice.
Nice. So how long you been doing that?
Trading stocks, maybe a few months now, but trading in general, a few years. I started during the pandemic. I started putting a little bit of money in crypto and watched it double in a week. And I was just like, what is going on here?
Yeah, right.
And slowly fell into Forex. And then I went into the indices. And now a friend of mine says, hey, come check out stocks. And I was like, okay, cool. Let's look at this. And now I'm having a lot of fun with it.
What's the difference between the markets? You try them all, so give the guys that listening, what's the difference?
The way you trade them are way different. I use a screener specifically, so like I'm finding like the same setups every day. It's a lot easier to find like the setup that you want, like using a screener, as opposed to like waiting for a setup with like the S&P or the NOS 100. So I'm able to get a little bit more consistent with that, as opposed to trying to like pull a rabbit out of a hat with other things.
Yeah, because we do have a lot of traders coming from the futures industry and also from Forex, and sometimes they get maybe a little bit confused at the beginning just to get to know the US market, the stocks, the way they behave, and all of those things. So it's always interesting to see, how to shift basically from Forex to stocks. All righty. So let's dive to your dashboard. I'll share your screen. I'll share my screen, and let's have a look at that. For those of you not familiar, every trader that goes through evaluation will have his own dashboard. The dashboard will show you your stats and the risk parameters, and basically will tell you once you got funded or reached the target. So this is it, the mini buying power, like I said, $20,000 to trade with. You reach the goal of minimum trades, 20 trades. Also consistency rule, not crossing the 30%. Let's talk a little bit about your chart here, because it's a very interesting one. You almost reached the target within a few, like 2 weeks or so, and then dropped all the way to zero. Walk me through it a little bit.
Oh, so that was fun. So I guess my confidence got really the better part of me at the beginning. So I lost 4 trades in a row there. So the first one, I thought I was sizing for the competition. It was like the same week of the competition.
Okay.
And so I put a trade in thinking it was like a $200,000 account, and I instantly got stopped out. Okay. And then I realized I was on the wrong account. I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to make that mistake again. And then I went through the phase of like oversizing again. And I'm like, okay, relax. You got this. And then slowly brought myself back up.
Nice. Very nice. I always look at the dashboards of the traders that passed the evaluation, and after they trade for a while, always watching the data. And interesting to see, you get a crazy good success rate, 74. That's a very decent
And to be
number.
fair, it should be a little bit higher because I made a few mistakes oversizing, but yeah, yeah, doing well.
And risk reward ratio is actually on the negative side, and that's something to talk about definitely, because there's a lot of, there are two ways to trade, right? Either
Yeah,
higher success rate, lower ratio, or the opposite, lower success rate, higher ratio. And
yeah,
you're the type who goes to the higher success rate, obviously.
yeah.
So
So I wouldn't say that's like super accurate, to be fair, because the way I was trading on my second account is that I would put a stop loss. Let's say I would be risking 150,
yeah,
and then I would delete the stop loss. And I don't recommend anyone do that whatsoever. But
okay,
I fully took advantage of your soft breach with like I think it was $300 soft breach.
yeah,
So if I ever did reach that, like I'm wrong with my trade, and like I'm out. You guys take me out, and that's fine. I only try to do one trade a day, anyways.
okay,
And so my real risk is 150. We call that a what not a hard stop, but a soft stop, and I'll exit if I think I'm wrong at that point.
yeah,
But I was definitely taking advantage of the stop breach. So I'm actually aiming for like a 2R, maybe a 3R at that point. But so on the first account, I kept getting wicked out, and I'm not even joking. Like it's almost like the price came right to my stop loss and then started going in the direction I needed every single trade almost.
that's a classic.
Yeah, and so my friend that was helping me out with this strategy, he's like, "Do it." I just stopped doing a hard, and I stopped, and I was having success with it right after. I was like, "Oh wow, it just passed my stop loss and started going down." But this time, I'm still in the trade. Amazing.
Yeah, so this is definitely a benefit of trading with trader pool, because you have that risk parameters, the daily pause, which will protect you. Something that, on a broker, you don't have that option. And even if there are maybe some brokers that will allow it, you need to call them and tell them, listen, I want a daily loss, right?
Yeah.
In opposed to, that's it, you're trading with the prop money, you gotta have it, and we gotta enforce it. So yeah, that will help definitely. I used it myself many times and many years when I traded here in a local prop firm, and also obviously on the company account now. So definitely, it's something to consider when it comes to trading with a prop firm, not using a hard stop. Nice. Tell me a little bit about your strategy. What are you looking for? I see obviously penny stocks, but what is it that you're aiming for?
So specifically, I short opening gaps.
Okay.
It's pretty technical how I do. I don't know how in detail you want me to go.
As much as you can for the guys that listen in. Everyone loves to learn more and get more knowledge.
So I look at the range between the closing price and the and everything in the pre-market. So I have like on TradingView, I have this nice little indicator that shows me a box with everything in it. So basically, I'm looking for a stock that did over a 40% move, and the price at opening right at 9:30 needs to be above 40%. If it's not above 40%, then I don't touch it. If there's nothing like that during the day, then I go back to bed. Right at opening price, I'll wait for like a 7-12% run. Like the price normally spikes about 7-12%. Sometimes it goes higher, so that's why you need like a really loose stop loss. And then I just short it. Super easy. I use a Fibonacci tool, and I aim for like a 50 to 70% retracement, depending on the stock. It depends on the price as well. I won't trade anything under $1, and I don't touch anything over 10. So like my ideal zone is like $3 to $5 for the stocks.
Nice one. And how do you find those stocks? I mean, just the gappers that you're looking, like a classic scanner, or?
So this past week I was looking at the top gainers right onto the trading platform, the Trade the Pool platform. But I also use TradingView. But their stock scanner is not that great, to be honest. Like sometimes I have to wait right at 9:30 for like the top gainers to like update. Because they won't show in the pre-market, which is like kind of annoying. But the top gainers, it seems to be enough in the Trade the Pool app.
And do you ever use like fundamentals or like news around the stock, or just looking for the
No,
technical?
no news.
Oh.
I'm a big fan of fair value gaps. I use that with
Mhm.
indices. So if I see that the stock will have a big rejection on the downside and it comes back into a fair value gap, that's a big green light for me. I really enjoy those trades,
Nice.
especially if they come back to, like, let's say the high of the pre-market, and then they're a little bit down. Sorry, I like drawings with my hands,
Yeah.
I guess.
No worries.
If the price comes back up to the high of the pre-market, that's a big green light. And if it rejects with a fair value gap or came back to a fair value gap, then boom, short, no problem.
Sure do.
A
Wow.
higher success rate on those bad boys.
Nice one. Now you said you've been trading stocks for only like 3-5 months, right?
Yeah.
So you started with penny stocks, or this is something that you shift toward to?
No, I started with crypto. It was like the bull run during the pandemic. Okay, I'll tell you my little story through going through
Okay, yeah.
the trading. I'm a food and beverage professional, so I used to direct teams of like 75 people and whatnot. So in my first few months doing that job, I like fell in love with data. Data is so much fun. You just look at everything, anything, and you find ways to like make more profits off of that. So as soon as I like got introduced to like charts, I was like, wow, this is cool. This is a lot of fun. Like I want to do this. And so I put a couple $100. I was laid off during the pandemic. Put a couple $100 into like this random crypto. I was like, oh, this is cool. And then I'd wake up the next day or a couple of days later, and the money would be doubled. I was just like, what is this? Why is this possible? Like this is.
Yeah.
So obviously, just like a majority of other people, I wrote it all the way up, and then I wrote it all the way down. I didn't take any profits or whatnot. And then trading in a bear market is definitely a lot tougher than trading into a bear market. So I shifted markets. I actually got funded with indices eventually. I never made it to a payout. I got a little bit too greedy. I've been trying ever since to get that payout back. But then when I moved to Montreal, one of my bosses at a bar I currently work at, he's like, hey, this is what I do. I've been having a lot of success. And I was like skeptic. I'm like, hey, what do you mean? Like, this is what you do? That sounds like cheating almost. And he's like, no, check it out. Like, these are my profits. And I'm like, I'm listening to this guy like he was a YouTuber, like just not knowing if he was serious and just showing me the upside and none of the downside. But then I tried it I think forward testing the strategy for like 2 months. I used and I was also using the demo accounts. I used 2 emails with you guys to get a little bit more time, just to learn the platform as well, because I was making some fat finger mistakes on it.
No worries.
But then I saw the success, and I was like, hey, why don't I keep forward testing and pay? I think the fee for Trade the Pool for the mini buying power is amazing. Like, how can I say no to that? So I was just like, okay, well, here, take my money. And then, here I am now.
That's amazing.
Hopefully I can get to a payout with you guys. Yeah. High hopes.
I mean, by looking at your chart and looking at the analysis and the trading, it looks great. So as long as you won't oversize and crossing those boundaries, I don't see a reason why not to. That's the whole point, controlling your emotions on that, right? All righty. So great, Terry. First of all, I love the story and all the stuff that you did already. So hopefully the first check will arrive soon.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah. So I wish you best of luck.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Everything. Guys, if you didn't join Trade the Pool yet, come check us out, tradethepool.com, and hopefully you will become a funded trader just like Terry. Take care.
All right, later.